Well, hello world, Bob here. Yeah, I forgot to put the sound on my video camera. So I'll do the introduction here and paste myself into the action. Basically, this is a video about me rebuilding Tatty's steering box. This all started because I discovered that there was zero oil in the steering box. I filled it up and the next morning all of the oil was back on the floor underneath the Land Rover again. So I took the covers off, took the side cover off, took the end off with the intention of resealing them, put one back on, sort of forgot I'd taken the other one off, twiddled the steering wheel, exploded the bearings, so turned into a complete rebuild. The first part of this video, there isn't any sound, so I might well chatter over the top. But basically what the situation is, I have an original aluminium Series 2A steering box. The insides seem in pretty good condition. The case itself, though, is quite badly corroded, particularly around where it's supposed to mate with the two steel covers. So this video is about me trying not to just buy a new one, but actually to repair the one I've got. So I hope you keep watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like and subscribe, that would be even more super. I shall speak to you again any moment now. But for now, ooh. So at the moment, we've got Tatty in a few pieces. If you've been watching any of my videos, you'll know that we have had all of the injectors out of the engine there and that we've overhauled those. Whilst I've been doing that, I have also been looking at the steering box. Now, this is the steering box down here. This column around here, this is what comes from the steering wheel. It goes all the way through there and into there, where at the moment there is no steering wheel, it's over there. All of this has already been loosened off. This bracket here is what holds the top of the steering column. That's already loose. And that steering shaft there should just pop out. So, what's going on is, this steering box here, these are like hen's teeth in Series 2 world now, but that's the filler. There's no drain for it. Basically it's supposed to get filled up and then just exist. I checked it a couple of months back and it was completely dry in there. I haven't had any problem with the steering, maybe a bit heavy but very dry. So I took the filler off there and I had nothing in it. So I topped it up. Topped it up and then went out for a bit of a drive. It felt very nice. Came back, parked her up, and you can probably still see the stain down here on the garage floor. Basically the entire box full of oil had fallen out on the floor in seconds. Which was, to say the least, slightly annoying. Anyway, so I then thought that what I needed to do was to check the seals, because they're notoriously poor, the seals on these things. But no, that's not fair. It's an old box. It's potentially been in there best part of 60 years. So I thought, well, I'll just take the covers off and I will check the seals. So I did that. There are two covers. One of them is down here. Now there's a cover down here which actually has some shim plates in it as well. And this cover also provides the necessary sort of pressure setting. You might be able to hear that moving. You can certainly see it. So this cover provides the necessary end float, sets that on the end of here. There should be a bearing cup in here with ball bearings in. That's some of the ball bearings in there. So I took that cover off, not a problem. I took this cover off, a bit more of a fight, but that one came off as well. I then tried to refit this cover, forgot I'd taken this one off, wobbled the steering wheel a bit, ping, bang, stuff all over the floor. it's gone from a changing the seals to a rebuilding it sort of job. Now, you can't see it very clearly because I've covered everything in red gunge. I wonder how close we can get. One of the things I did find out is that this box is aluminium. There's a lot of quite serious corrosion around this sealing edge, to the point where there's arguably probably not a sealing edge. So what I'm going to do... bends the knees. Sorry about the sound effects there. I've got knees. Went running yesterday. I've got knees today. Yeah. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to whip this out, and you can get second-hand ones of these. You can actually potentially you can get new ones for slightly later versions. But what I'm getting to this point of thinking, what I actually want to do is to repair things on here rather than just replace them, particularly replace them with newer stuff. So I'm going to take this out. And yeah, I'm going to try building up that sealing edge with some epoxy putty. And there's no pressure in that steering box, so I think all I need really is a sort of atmospheric pressure good seal. So I'm going to try that before I replace anything. Before I could get that out, I need to get I think it's a Pitman arm. I'll show you. Down here, so this is the steering box. Takes the, just put that down, takes the rotary motion of the steering wheel and it changes it, puts it through 90 degrees, and it changes that motion into a much smaller movement in this arm here, this green arm. Now this has to come off. This is a tapered, splined shaft. So while that's been on there, that's pretty tight now. Pretty darned tight. And to get that off, we need the puller. And this is a very specific puller. It's just the right size. I don't know if you can see, there are some little lugs. There's one there on the sides of this Pitman arm. There's one on that side, there's another one on the other side, you can't quite see it. You need this puller, which is just the right size to fit over there, get under those lugs and pull it off. So this has now arrived, the rain has stopped, let's see if we can get that arm off. Right, I think the sound might have gone funny in that last bit, but anyway, there's you jammed into a suitable hole. Let's see if we can get this puller on. There's just so much stuff here to weave in and out of. We've got this whole wiring loom. This is, what is that? That's a brake pipe. All of this stuff is there, but I don't want to damage things. Now, hang on, this wire here, let's move this wire because it doesn't end up there anyway. I'm going to get rid of at least one around the back there. There we go. Right. Better. That needs to come out of the way. So this fits over there. Oops. Well, at least the oil pan wasn't there. Got my new tool dirty. So many things fall into oil pans over the last few months. It stops being fun. That's great. Okay, like that. Behind the ears. And then initially tighten down. Ideally, I would like to get my torque wrench, my super power tool in there, but I'm not going to be able to. Is it far enough on at the back? Now I'm going to be cautious, very, very cautious, not to chafe this brake line. Need to find a spanner that will fit that now. Big spanner. Let's try this. How about 17? Should we try 17? No, not quite. I just know this is going to be hard work. So is it? Is it Imperial? Have they done something weird? Because it's a thing for a Land Rover, it actually has Imperial nuttage on it. That's at least gone on. This is a 3/4 spanner. Wish me luck. Should just be a matter of keeping all loose limbs and digits out of the way. Tightening this up. I have put some plus gas onto this, by the way. I can see that some sort of extension on this would come in handy. If I've got one. There's no way I could get a power tool in there. Need a breaker bar. Need spanners on my spanners. How do we do this? I know you can do this. It's going to be a short video, this, in which I achieve nothing. I suspect I wouldn't be doing it with that spanner. That's a ratchet spanner. Let me show you. I'll show the other camera what I'm doing, okay? This is the spanner that I want to get on there, and put that one on the nut. And then what you do is you take the other spanner, you take the ring end of the other spanner, and you put it over the top like that. And then you can actually use it to exert even more pressure. It's probably enormously bad for the spanners, but in this scenario, I don't care. It does mean we are getting some significant movement there. At least that with the spanner. Right, I'm going to move you lot up a bit because you are beginning to get in the way. You're in the way. It actually feels like it's moving quite significantly now. Are we achieving some loosenage? The tool is nicely snugly on there. I feel like we might be winning. Just try it with one spanner, see if we've got any movement going on. We're actually sliding off at the moment, which means we've gone quite loose. What's going on? Not tied in a knot. Does that mean we're loose? is loose. Good. Can you see that? No, that's the shaft moving at the moment. What's going on? What's going on? Set this back on again. Carry on a bit. Yeah. Oh. Can we just get this to move now? I'm assuming that the steering rods further down will sort of hinge. Oh gosh, yeah, look. Just needed the persuader on it. There we go. Hooray. Clunk. I'm going to turn you upside down now, see if you can see the next bit. Under here, can you see them? 1, 2, almost certainly 3 and 4 back there somewhere. Yeah, those have to come out. Certainly got a socket on there. See how we're going to do that. I'm having a thought. These nuts, they are not very easy to get to. My thought is, so yeah, this job has taken on bigger sort of parameters than this is the story of LandRover owning life. This job got bigger. Never. This is wisdom. The wisdom of Bob. Never when the job gets bigger. Never be afraid to start with a cup of tea, or in my case at this time of morning, another cup of coffee, and think about it. I'm going to go and think about the job. Yeah. Well, I have finished my cup of coffee, and I've been looking at this problem, and I've decided I am going to have another go at getting these 4 bolts off. I've been in there with a screwdriver. It's not going to focus on those, is it? There we go. I managed to bend the tabs off those near to, and I managed to get them to turn with the ratchet. So I'm going to have another go at getting them right off. We'll see if we can do it that way. Well, welcome back. I have just been getting on with it. This top bolt in here is a beggar. There is a sort of plate. This is the one off the bottom one. There is one of these plates in there with the tabs that bend up to stop the bolt spinning, and honestly getting the tabs knocked down in there enough to get this bolt out has been hard work. Let's say hard work, but hopefully it's coming out now. I can see a gap in the actual steering box joint. It's all getting very loose. I may have to start doing this by hand soon. That's it, we've lost ratcheting. Whoever said that Land Rovers were great because you could easily get at everything to work on it has never done this job. Huzzah. Ugh, crusty. Wish me luck. Now I can see that this is loose, so that comes out. Turn it around a bit. Oh, I know what, I've got a cable tie on up there. I need to just persuade it doesn't want to be cable tied anymore. It's another sort of bone of contention, the way that the wiring gets added to. I'd added two. A lot of this cable tying is down to me. This is all going to slide out and go horribly crash any minute now. This cable tie is taking its job very seriously. There we go. I win. What are we tied up at? Oh, I'm at the top now. Double trapped. Okay, I'll show you what we're tied up on now. Take a torch. Going to just push this back in a little bit. Lodge it there. What we're tied up on now, this is getting tied up on the holes here. This is actually the connection for the horn, which I've rather brutally chopped off at the other end for the time being. So we're going to have to thread that through first. And yeah, this is going to be a two-handed job now. Right, we'll put you there, safely out of the way, and then we'll try again. Get that down. It's through the first hole, it's coming through the second hole. Cue angelic choir of heavenly voices. Well, thank goodness for that. Oh, right. What have we got? We've got an exciting big spring there. Try and keep all this together, I suppose. Do you know what? It actually feels a lot smaller once you get it out in your hands. Curious, that, isn't it? Put you there. Right. Obviously self-sabotaging all this videoing today. We are going, aren't we? The green light's on. Right. So I've taken the worst of this crud off here. The tools I have had to buy are a set of Imperial box spanners. This one is 1/2 inch by 9/16, and I have the full shiny set that will probably never get used for anything else. The reason is that these 4 bolts here, which are holding the steering column onto the steering box, are very, very tight against this collar. So I've had to get this set of box spanners. I have already loosened them a bit to get these out. So I'll work them out now. No. Right, what that should allow us to do now is to hopefully withdraw this. I'll have to twiddle the end. You see, I'm turning that. I am able to get all of this out. Ooh, I can hear ball bearings dropping left, right, and centre. I have to move my light a bit. Here we go. Pulls the sword from the stone. Out it comes. Well, here we go. This is so there's an interesting sort of collar there. To my mind, it looks like, well, I'll have to find out if this is normal. It almost looks like this is being welded here. You can see a sort of heat colour change there. Anyway, doesn't. No horrible scoring up there. This is This is the telltale end here. These are like hen's teeth getting these. So what one has to hope is that it's in good nick. Let's just give it a bit of a wipe. You've got your fingers crossed? I've got mine crossed. There's another bit that looks like it might have been welded there. That must be normal then. That must be how they're made. It's very neat and tidy. Obviously being machined afterwards. So let's have a look. There are two bearing surfaces on here. Well, three, I suppose, technically. This is the bottom one, and there's a bit of pitting on that side, but that's actually looks all right. This is the top surface. This is likely to have suffered the most because all the oil's been running out. And there is some pitting on there, but it's not horrendous. The actual surface for this main nut in there, that's really good. I'm not displeased with that. Not at all. What a relief. Right, let's just put that down somewhere. And this, get it out. Oh, this is exciting, spirally thing, full of bearings. All out, I think. That might be all of them. I don't know if you can actually pick up on the shape of this thing. It is a little bit of, I see water and oil in there. This is the spiral. Hold it that way. It's going to run along the worm drive there. And what happens is this sits in there, and the worm drive moves this up and down. There is a fork which is in the garage at the moment. So the shaft goes through here with a fork on the end. This slides in a fairly limited fashion up and down here. Twist the fork. That's what changes the rotational directions there, and also gives us the gearing that enables us to turn the ridiculous heavy steering with only the muscular attributes of Atlas as opposed to something utterly impossible. Yeah, not bad here. There's a little bit of mayonnaise in mechanical components. If you get water and oil mixed together, you get this horrible effect. Of course, that could be some sort of grease that's been on there. But anyway, we're going to replace all the bearings. Not worried about those having dropped out. Let me show you. Let's take all these bearings out. Come on, out you come. Look, there's a little bit of wear on those visible. So this is the problem child to an extent. As I was trying to put it back on, well, I made a mess of everything, but you can probably see it's not so bad around this side, but you get around here, and we do have a lot of corrosion going on, and then when we reach here, that corrosion's gone most of the way across that mating surface. See if we can, let me employ a device. I'm not worried about this too much. Right, so we can see corrosion there. So there are places on here where there really isn't very much surface left to make a good joint.
Right, well, I've just taken the steering box case out of the Argo where it's been cooking nicely for a while, nice and dry now. While that was drying off, I have put a first coat of the good old Built Hamber Hydrate 80. This is a rust killer on the cover plate here, and I did manage, fortunately, to get the adjustment screw out of from the cover plate there, thanks to some plus gas and a big spanner. I'm not very happy with the thread at the top of this, and I have a suspicion it was obviously screwed right down against, to where you can see the corrosion on the thread. The nut's fine, it's spinning on the bottom of it. I think what I might do, these aren't terribly expensive, these pins, a couple of pounds. I think I'll order a new one of those, just so that I get as much adjustment as I might need. I think it looks a bit chewed up, very badly rusted, the top of this thread. Yeah, but this plate, I'm glad it came out, because although these might be a couple of pounds, this plate, you can get it. You can even get original surplus ones, at least £60, £60–70 for that plate. An outrageously expensive thing. Anyway, meanwhile, what I wanted to do was have a better look at this under some good light. So one thing that I've noticed is interesting. There are a few, most of it's cast aluminium, but there are a few inserts. There's what looks like a bronze collar going down. This is the output shaft. This is where the Pitman arm comes out. There's a groove around the inside of there. That's where the O-ring goes. That's the seal for that. But there is obviously a sort of bearing surface pressed into there. This is the flange which attaches this. Here's the flange that attaches it to the chassis. 4 holes. 3 of them are just straight holes. This one here, it's actually drilled and has you can see that threaded insert in it, which is quite intriguing. Only that one. I can sort of understand these two here. These are just straight through, nut and bolt straight through. These two screw actually into the thing itself. And that hole is threaded. I can only assume that has been repaired, in which case it's a beautiful repair. Well done, somebody. Right, so these are like reindeer poo. Not easy to get. Let's have a look. We've got some identity on here. What have we got there? That looks, can't make that first, might be a 91148 or something possibly. And then there are more things across there. H3 68. If 68 is the year, that allies with the age of the vehicle. There's another stamp on top of that. It's clearer in the camera than it is to the eye. Yeah, lots of interesting markings on there. Very heavily filed looking, that bit, and then some stamps markings on it. Curious. Anything else on it? Anyway, okay, so what is apparent? The inside looks all right, but look at the corrosion here. Now I don't know, that's cracked and then eaten away. Actually quite a sort of hollow space in there. There's a few more. There's another hole there, sort of eaten away. This corner's really bad altogether. Now, I think I was explaining. Let me put this down for a moment. Will it stand? Go on. You know you want to. Prop it up. Right, there we go. So, there's no pressure in this as it works, but we do need to be able to get a decent seal against this surface in order to keep the oil in it. And it is quite badly corroded. So what I'm hoping to do, rather than, you can get these, but again, lots of money. Well, you can't get these new. You can get a younger version, which is interchangeable. But anyway, what I'm hoping to do is to get my little multi Dremel, other I'm sure drills are available, clean all of this up, get to the bottom of these gouges, and then apply some metal repair putty to this surface, and probably to these horrendous cracks wherever they were. Over this corner, aren't they? And try and just fill up some of these, and then file it, sand it flat again, and see if we can get the oil to stay in. That's the plan. Thank you for listening. I'm now going to put a second coat of stuff onto this. Right, at the garage, it stopped raining. We're going to, next stage of the rehabilitation process, hopefully. I'm about to attack this with the Dremel and some various bits, see what I can do to clean up all of this corrosion. Yeah, right, on we go. Well, hello there. This video is getting quite long, so I've decided to split it in half, and you get half now, and you get half at some later date, probably when I've actually finished doing all the work. So, thank you for watching. If you would do me the honour of liking and subscribing, that would be super. And for now, Bob out. See you in the next one.